Welcome to Women of Courage Season 2, where my guests continue to share their courageous stories. It is my hope that these stories will encourage and inspire you as you face your own challenges, that you will take action to courageously pursue your own dreams and passions, no matter what obstacles are presented along the way. I'm Ann Miner, your host for the show, and my guests are women of courage, women from all walks of life, and whether their challenges involve their health, their family, their business, or their career, it's apparent that every aspect of their life was impacted. Our women of courage have found the strength and the courage to confront, to overcome, and to succeed in spite of everything. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment with today's Woman of Courage.
If I were brave.
Welcome back to Women of Courage. I'm here today with Diane Forbes. Welcome, Diane. I'm so pleased that you were able to be with us today.
Thank you for having me, Anne.
Now, I know that you faced significant challenges, and I'm hoping that you'll just begin with your story at the beginning.
Okay, thank you, Anne. My journey with my challenges actually began in 2000 when I was diagnosed with lupus. I have the systemic lupus erythematosus. And lupus is an autoimmune disease. It's called the disease of 1,000 faces. And it's where the immune system no longer has the ability to recognize good cells from bad cells, which would normally get you better when you're sick. It attacks everything. It's like a self-allergy. It's actually a sister disease to multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue, and fibromyalgia. But actually, my symptoms had started 2 years earlier on my 40th birthday. That morning of my 40th birthday, I woke up with swelling and redness in my face. I went to the walk-in clinic and they thought I had a suspected allergy and sent me home and said, take some antihistamines. I said, my only allergy is I'm turning 40 today. And that was the beginning of this journey in my life with lupus. I had to see 7 doctors, urologists, nephrologists, immunologists, dermatologists, to finally get referred to the lupus clinic at McMaster University Hospital in Hamilton and given the diagnosis. It was great to finally get this diagnosis to this mystery illness that had been puzzling myself and my multi-doctors I had seen, but it was also scary. You know, being an autoimmune illness, what do I do? You know, how do I live with this? The challenges I faced with the uncertainty of my future. I felt like a prisoner trapped in my body. I felt like I had no longer able to live the life I had once enjoyed and loved. You know, the chronic fatigue was terrible. The arthritis, kidney infections, just a host of multi-symptoms that are very common with living with lupus. So it's definitely a scary journey.
So how did you keep yourself positive throughout that journey?
Well, I have to share with you, I did have my days. You know, I'm human, right? And it was overwhelming that, as I shared, that I felt like I was robbed. I was angry. Why me? And then I thought, you know what? Why not me? There's someone else worse off. You know, that I was going to make the best of it no matter what. And at that point, the lupus started affecting my central nervous system, causing cognitive and fine motor skill impairments. And I'm an artist. I'm a graphic designer, a teacher. I've been, you know, you take for granted the ability to use your hands to make beautiful pieces of art until you can't. They were foreign to me. So I did experience severe depression, you know, in dealing with the uncertainty of these challenges and fearful for my children. At the time, my boys were young, and I thought, wow, you know, I'm not going to be able to be the mom I was. I was always compared as the ever-ready bunny of energy, and now I could barely get out of bed. You know, and so it really was taking one day at a time, not to push myself, to allow myself that self-care. You know, we can so often forget about us. You know, we're a super mom, you know, always wanting to be the best to everyone else, but neglecting our own self-care needs. And the one thing the lupus taught me was the very, very important aspect of self-care every day. You know, taking time for your rest. You know, stop before you drop. And that's what it really taught me, maintaining a positive attitude no matter what, and you are stronger than you think.
So you have turned your life into an expression of your experience.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you. And like I say, when you and I first met, when I bought, your book and everything, and I was so honored to meet you and read about other amazing women, who had also overcome, their challenges. And, on my journey back, like when I had the central nervous system and fine motor skill impairments, I had, such huge challenges that I was so grateful to qualify for CPP disability for 5 years, and then blessed to be in remission. I thought I won the lottery. And those feel-good emotions with gratitude that I had a second chance. Mm-hmm. And how can I share that message of hope with others? I had gratitude for my doctors, gratitude for all those who had supported me, and Lupus Ontario with the support groups, and just everyone, the nurses, McMaster, everyone on my journey that, we have to stop and say thanks. And so for me, my journey back was an expression of gratitude. How can I help others still suffering with this terrible illness? And being in remission only means the symptoms aren't active. They're dormant. Lupus is actually Latin for the word wolf, so I call myself as living well with the wolf inside me. I don't want to wake it up, right? So in the healing journey back, doing motivational speaking, helping people, sharing that message of hope is what inspires my passion for what I do. So I literally picked up where I left off after that 5-year, break with my illness, with even more vision, passion, and purpose in sharing, helping others. So I started speaking at support group meetings for Lupus Ontario, creating a lupus awareness, telling people that it's okay, just go to your doctor appointments, make some lifestyle changes. It's not as bad if you don't feed the negative energy. And then combining it with the healing with art. Art was always my life before lupus, and my art supplies became my medicine on my healing journey back. And so I teach now motivational life skills and healing through art workshops. But it was only through those challenges that inspired that. You've been doing things the same way your whole life, and then when you overcome them, you actually have just even more of a vision to be able to share that in helping others.
Mm-hmm. Now, was there someone who was really inspirational for you or supportive of you as you were making that transition?
Oh, my wonderful husband. I don't know what I would do without him. We just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary in May, and he's my rock. He's so strong for me, and he'd just say, hun, it's going to get better. Just don't worry. You're in good hands with the doctors, because it is pretty scary when here I was, an active woman, mother, wife, and very exciting career, and then to have it all taken away. I felt like I'd become a spectator, and my husband just says, okay, it'll be there when you're better. It'll be there waiting for you. And for his words of support, especially when all the meds they had me on, I was over 20 pills a day, and there can be a lot of weight gain and just everything with the side effects, the nausea, the symptoms that you get with the illness and dealing with all the side effects. And no matter what, he'd say, you look beautiful. And that's just really, that's our marriage vows, through sickness and in health. And then my boys, Mom, you're strong, and they help me so much. So it's my family, my friends, Lupus Ontario for the support group meetings, and that's what inspires me to give back and to not give up hope. Every day is an opportunity to be grateful for something.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to take a little break, and
Okay.
when we come back, I want to talk more about how you are using this journey in your business.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a moment with more of Diane Forbes' story on Women of Courage. Welcome back. I'm here with Diane Forbes, and we're going to pick up her story, backing up just a little bit.
Okay.
Tell us more about that business that you started, where you incorporated your art talent and used it to help inspire others.
Oh, thank you, Anne. As I shared, I've been teaching for years, being in the arts and a lifetime artist. And when I lost my fine motor skills, I think the thing that really hit me the hardest with contributing to the depression and loss of hope was that my hands were foreign to me, and I had received, I was honored to receive many awards at the London Regional Art Gallery for doing pen and ink pointillism renderings of the heritage buildings. So that's very detail oriented, which requires your fine motor skills. And my hands, they just wouldn't work anymore. So I thought, that's it. I put away all my art supplies. I'll never be able to draw again. But art is in the eye of the beholder. And when I did have my challenges, I tried a different approach, because being negative just wasn't working. It was just causing more downward spiral of repeated negative thinking. And I thought, well, what if I take out those art supplies and dust them off and just be creative expression in my own way now? And it was through that creative expression that I had feel-good emotions. I could do it on my terms. I could have the fun, the healing energy from the creativity, and it wasn't what I used to do, but it's the way I do it now, which is perfect. And that's the beauty of art. Art's in the eye of the beholder. I mean, I'm a Fanshawe College graduate from graphic design, commercial illustrator, fine artist, and now I focus more on the healing with art and the feel-good emotions. And actually, while you're working with your hands, you're actually helping your fine motor skills, with the hand-eye coordination. So that's what inspires me now, especially with my Healing Through Art program that I've written, is that a lot of impairments, whether it be the central nervous system impairments with the lupus, or even other people, that's my challenge is the lupus, but other people, maybe you got arthritis, maybe your hands just aren't as nimble as they used to be. Have fun. When you're having fun, you're in that healing process, and that's what inspires. So it's actually my greatest challenges with lupus that inspires my passion, because I remember when my hands weren't creative, and now they're creating masterpieces in my own way, and like I say, I have them as a souvenir to show me I could do it. And that's what I do for my workshops, working with clients, doing the motivational life skills, the Healing Through Art projects, and giving people an opportunity to believe in themselves again, no matter what challenge. So it's really exciting, and to see people walk away so proud of their work, it's a self-esteem building, it's a positive energy, it's just a feel-good for everybody.
It's so interesting that art is the foundation for such good feelings and such high self-esteem. I remember that a story I heard about how we are all artists. And when you ask a kindergarten class, who's an artist in the room, that everybody puts up their hand, I am an artist, I'm an artist. And then in grade 1, if you ask them the same question, same response. But by the time they're in grade 6, no one puts up their hand. That it's one of the things that we learn that maybe we're not so good at, and that the way that we are teaching our children and dealing with all of our talents is maybe robbing us of some of that opportunity to feel joyful and to feel positive. So what you're doing now is bringing that back into people's lives, huh?
Oh, thank you. It's the freedom of creative expression. I always share with all my clients, there's no art background or experience necessary. Your art will be perfect for you. Because we start off with, each of the workshops has a motivational life skill theme, whether it be self-esteem building, goal setting, respecting, problem solving, time management. And then after our group discussions, then we think, looking at the art supplies on the buffet of art supply table, and take away a creative experience from what you've got from the message. And when everyone shares their artwork at the end and tells what inspired them in our sharing circle, it's so amazing. We're all each other's teachers. And everyone's individual creative expression can inspire the next person. I've been teaching for 40 years, because my teaching started back in high school when I used to do all the Guelph YMYWCA day camps. So I've been teaching a long time, but I tell you, every day is an opportunity to learn something new. When I'm working with clients, I'm learning from them just as much as they say they're learning from me. And if we embrace every day as an opportunity to learn and grow, there's no challenge too big that we can't overcome and be, you know, victors instead of victims. And that's where it was happening with me, downward spiral of negative thinking, until I made the choice to step out of that, you know, chaos of negative thinking into positive energy and healing. So it really is about a journey.
You know, I remember the day that you and I met, and I'm sure that you went away from that meeting with no idea of what impact you'd had on me. So I wanted to share with you that that was a particularly difficult day for me, that I had come to that book signing, and you know, I had had some experience the day before that didn't really prepare me to be in my most positive frame of mind. And it seemed that day that each person who came to talk with me about this book entitled Succeeding in Spite of Everything had a story of their own to tell. And you were the last person I spoke to that day, and you were so positive. And it was almost like, well, there was just so much gratitude in you for everything, for just the opportunity to be alive. And as I drove away and on my journey home, on my drive home, I thought a lot about what you had said and what a sparkling individual you are, bringing your light into the world.
Oh, Anne, thank you for your kind words. You're the inspiration. You know, when you and I met, like, to see you and to have you sign my book personally was just an honor. And to read, and I want to share, I bring your book to all my workshops, because I always bring books that inspire me. Because, you know, when we're making positive choices, it was reading inspirational books like yours that helped me break a cycle of negative thinking and help me, you know, focus on other people are on this same journey and look at how strong they've been. So I have this collection of books that I bring to my workshop, so that on the breaks, you know, before or after a workshop or at the lunchtime, I can share with my client the books that have inspired me. And your book has always been a really popular one for people. And I said, and I met her in person. Really, you did, Diane? She autographed it for me. So people are just so thrilled that you're a kind person, that you were out there at the bookstore signing these books, and that you put it in the book with all the different stories, that you've touched a lot of lives, you know. So I want to say thank you to you for writing your book.
Oh, it's so good of you to say that. You know, as we come to the end of our interview, I'm wondering if there is a couple of things that you'd like to tell our audience. You've given us great messages already, but I'm wondering if you have one message that you'd like to leave us with. And then I thought maybe you might like to say something about Lupus Ontario and how people can get involved.
Okay, I think that don't give up. Don't give up. You know, sometimes we can think, oh, you know, it's getting too tough, I'm going to give up. But it's always when you're at that next step, just take one day at a time and you're one step closer. So when we're thinking to ourselves, I've got so far to go on this journey back, or, you know, reclaiming your life. For me, I had to start all over again at 47. So I was thinking I'm too old, you know, but if you look and celebrate how far you've come every day on your journey and not giving up, you're one step closer. And I think that dedication, focusing on the positive no matter what, gratitude, appreciation for what you do have instead of taking for granted, oh, I wish it was better. I tell you, when my doctor told me I was in remission, I thought I won the lottery. And it wasn't money, it was gratitude for an opportunity to be strong, have courage, and the best is yet to come. Focus on the positive.
And we certainly can see that that is what you do. Now, shall we close with something that you'd like to say about?
Well, with Lupus Ontario, there is such a wonderful resource of information for people who are suspecting they may have lupus. As I shared, it took me 2 years and 7 doctors to get a diagnosis. It's very, very difficult to diagnose lupus. You have to have a criteria of so many symptoms out of the multiple symptoms out there. But Lupus Ontario offers tremendous support with support groups, newsletters. We have a lot of fundraisers and even a crisis hotline. If anyone is interested in even talking to me, I offer a lot of support in how I live with lupus, and it's just taken one day at a time. And like I shared earlier, I was over 20 pills a day. I take no meds now.
Wow.
Lifestyle changes, focus on the positive one day at a time, and I'm able to live without the medication that I had relied on for the 5 years that I had full-blown lupus. So I plan on keeping my remission and just respecting, you know, like doing everything I can. And with the support of Lupus Ontario and Lupus Canada, it's out there for you. So it's just go on the website for lupusontario.org, and they've got lots of information to share.
Great. And if any of our members of our audience choose to send in messages or comments, I'll be sure to share them with you as well.
Thank you very much, Anne.
Thank you. And now, a few words from that wonderful, wacky woman, Jezebel Peppa.
Hello, darlings. Jezebel Peppa here. Darlings, have you ever heard the saying, count your blessings? I'm sure you have. But do we really count our blessings? And do we look for that big thing we think we're supposed to be grateful for? Let me tell you, darlings, every day there's little things all around you that you can be grateful for. Lots and lots of blessings. If you can wake up in the morning, take a deep breath, that's a blessing. If you can hear children laugh or birds sing, that's a blessing. If you can see a beautiful sunset, that's a blessing. And if you can look into the eyes of somebody that you love, that's a blessing. Quit looking for the big things in life that are going to make you grateful. Think about the little things. Enjoy them. Music, a beautiful piece of music. Something that's pleasing to the eye. Anything that makes you happy, anything that brings you joy is something to be grateful for. So celebrate the fact that you have little blessings all around you every single day. And remember to celebrate the Jezebel in you.
3, 2, 1.
Well, thank you, Jezebel. And thank you, Diane Forbes. You have certainly inspired us today, and I, for one, am motivated to move forward and take the next steps towards my own goal. As our thank you gift for you, you'll receive a copy of my book, Succeeding in Spite of Everything, and our beautiful centerpiece by Floral Occasions in Ingersoll. Now we'd love to hear from our audience. Last season, many of you wrote to our guests directly to let them know how you had been inspired and encouraged by their stories. We would love to be able to share your comments and feedback on future episodes of Women of Courage. So please contact me directly at the email address on your screen below. Now remember, in every setback lies opportunity. Opportunity for you to call up all that you've learned through other people's stories and what you've learned from your own personal experience. To rely on your core beliefs and values. To rally your strength and your courage to find your way through, to overcome, and to succeed in spite of everything. Until next time, be courageous.
If I were brave, what would I do today? If I were brave, what would I do today? If I were brave, what would I do today? If I were brave.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line